Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills. What do we got, guys? Bengals, Bills. What do we think on this one?
Bengals are getting 5. They're both 5-0 in their last 5 games. I don't know that you have outside of rushing, which Josh Allen had 762 rushing yards. Joe Burrow had 257 rushing yards. They each threw for Burrow threw for a little bit more, 4,400 yards. He had 35 touchdowns. Josh Allen right around 4,300 yards, also 35 touchdowns. This is going to be a good game. Bengals giving up a little over 20 points a game. Bills right around 18 points a game. This is going to be a good game. This is a coin flip for me. I mean, the Bills are at home, so I obviously always give the nod to the home team, and I think they'll pull it out. But man, it's going to be this might be the game of the weekend, I think.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a matchup. It really, you think about this game, and it's like these are two. This is a heavyweight fight right here, man. I mean, these are two explosive offenses, talented, stacked rosters. It should be a really, really good game, and I'm going to be really curious to see how it plays out. And I was a little bit surprised that that's the afternoon game, that they didn't get the evening game.
Yeah,
they got the 3:00 game. So, whatever, but they're similar teams.
Very similar.
This is not a battle of different matchups. These are the same basic team. And when you look across the board between the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running games, I mean, for everything that you can say about a Jamar Chase, you can probably say about a Stephon Diggs. For the things that you can say about a Burrow, you can probably say about a Josh Allen. And then, even the tight ends, I mean, everything really across the board. You have so many similarities here on what these teams can do. I think it's just going to be a slugfest.
Here's what I would say on this game. The difference makers between the two is probably going to be at the running back position, right? You laid out tit for tat every position you can be, but there's not a Mixon, a Joe Mixon on Buffalo's team. They're kind of like a running back by committee. P. Ryan and Mixon, I would say, are the better matchup going into this game as far as running backs are concerned. So I think that if they can lean on that, I think that would be the separation between the two. But yeah, I'm with you guys. This should be just a fun, let's go offense, and just let's have a ball watching these guys go at each other.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what about the intangibles here? Because it's going to be all over. You're going to hear it constantly with Hamlin, and
he'll be there, right? I mean, there's no chance that he's not at that game.
Yeah. So how does Buffalo respond? How do they play? Given that that's going to be hanging there, I'm curious to see how if they play any different, or if it's super emotionally charged. I'm curious to see how just the vibe of that game is going to be.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a matter of the Bills just the Bengals withstanding that first drive, the first 2 drives, just withstanding it, because they're going to be they're going to be so hyped up.
The energy will be high for sure.
Yeah, it was just like last week's game. We're not going to go back and talk about it, but just the way we texted about it, just the way the Ravens were able to hold the Bengals on that first drive. They were just throwing it down their throats, and they would just buckle down, and it ended up being a fantastic game. I think that's going to have to be now. The Bengals are going to have to be wearing that shoe where it's all right, bend, don't break. They're going to come out fired up, just play your game, and just once we get to the, get into that 20-yard line area, buckle down, settle, let them make them settle for field goals. So they got to withstand those first couple of drives, I think.
Well, it's also really interesting that both teams are coming off incredibly tight games that they arguably should have lost. So it's not even like one is coming off of that and the other came off a clean win. They're in such not only similar teams, but they're in identical situations in terms of what they came off of, where they barely managed to get into this situation. And so last week was a wake-up call for both teams. There's no getting around that. So whatever they can do with it from here is going to get to be, I think, it's going to be fun to watch. I expect that.